I'd like to call to order the meeting of Monday, February the 23rd. If the clerk would please take the roll.
Councilmember Archibald.
Here.
Councilmember Ashford.
Present.
Councilmember Cole. Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Lewandowski.
Here.
Councilmember Ruiz.
Here.
Mayor Rep.
Here. You have before you the minutes from the regular meeting of February the 9th and the special meeting of February the 17th. Is there a motion to receive and file?
So move.
Thank you, Councilmember Ashford. Is there a second?
Second.
Support. Councilmember Harris. Is there any additions or deletions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes will stand as submitted. We do have two public hearings on the agenda tonight. If the clerk would please read the first one.
Number one is to hear comments on the proposed CDBG 5-year consolidated plan for the years 2015 through 2019 and a 1-year 2015 annual action plan.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council on public hearing number 1?
Mayor Rep,
Yes.
can I make a
Councilmember Harris.
comment as a public person and not a city council member?
Well, you are a city council member. You would not,
Well,
you can just make a comment.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a comment that only a couple of things that I felt that could be adjusted in the CDBG planning is, number one, in section 108, the loan reserve for the Sperry's building. I'm hoping the Sperry's building issues will go away, and it don't seem they have. The other issue, and I know we're just having a public hearing on it, the other issue that bothers me is the administration fees, and according to the one-year plan, it's $163,000. Now, if I was looking for a job, I'd look for that before I would city manager, and just my comments. Thank you.
If I could address those two comments. First and foremost, the loan reserve Sperry's project is moving forward, and that's just a responsible part of the city to put together a reserve fund in case a contingency were to happen with the 108 loan. And so, that is a responsible move to protect the city and our CDBG dollars going forward. As for the administration fees, it is not just someone's wage, that's multiple people's wages, the cost of facilitating and fiduciating the program, and so it's not just one person's wage, it's several people in that department.
I hope so.
Okay. I don't want anyone to think that someone's making that kind of cash.
Yeah.
I would have applied for that job.
I don't blame you.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address us on public hearing number 1? We'll declare public hearing number 1 closed and move on to public hearing number 2.
To hear comments on the proposed amended brownfield plan from Port Huron Hotels LLC and the Amira Lodge Group for 2021 through 2025 Water Street. Following the hearing, council will consider approving the amended brownfield plan.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council this evening on public hearing number 2? Please come forward to the podium and give us your name, please.
Good evening. My name is Nicholas Maloof. I'm with Associated Environmental Services. We're the brownfield consultant for Amira Lodge and Port Huron Hotels. And we are hoping that you will review and approve this brownfield plan so that we can move forward with the construction of the 2 hotels and restaurant. With me is Jerry Flannery with Amira Lodge and Port Huron Hotels.
I just wanted to introduce myself and certainly thank the Brownfield Authority for their support in bringing this forward for us tonight. We're excited to do this, but given the number of concerns at this site, we certainly need the support of the City Council as well. So we'd ask for that tonight.
Thank you. While you're standing, and I just wonder if maybe for the audience, we have obviously received information, but for the audience's benefit, could you tell us what exactly is going to be on the site?
Sure. We're hopeful to have 2 hotels. The first is a limited service Holiday Inn Express. It's going to be the newest generation prototype. Our relationship with IHG is allowing us to build the first of its kind, rolling out this next generation. And so we're very excited to do that. We're also planning on having a restaurant on site and then a second hotel to be determined. So in total, it could be anywhere from 170 to potentially 200 rooms.
Do you know when the first hotel will be approximately open?
We're hopeful to have it open maybe in the fall.
In the fall?
As long as the polar vortex stays out.
Right. So we can keep the snow away and get going in earnest, sure. Yeah, we hope to deliver the first one by fall.
Thank you, thank you. Is there anyone on council who has any questions or anything they'd like to say before we move on the public hearing?
Real quick, I'd like to point out, I think what's exciting about this development is the credibility of the developer. This is not their first rodeo. They've literally done dozens and dozens of hotels across the state of Michigan. And furthermore, it's not that if this is happening, this is already happening. Construction's underway at that site. You have almost $1.5 million in underground work. Utilities done. You also have steel structures, and the structure itself is going up now. So, you know, there's a lot of times some false starts on projects in Port Huron when people get excited and something doesn't happen. And I think what's important for our community to know is that this is happening, you guys are well underway, and this hotel will in fact come to fruition.
Correct.
Councilmember Harris, I believe you had something.
I just wanted to thank them that now that I see a lot of things being accomplished out there, I try to visit as much as I can. But I guess the most amazing thing is you talked that it's going to be a new prototype, and I think we're all looking forward to something different. Thank
Great.
you.
Anyone else?
I'd just like to echo Councilmember Harris's remarks. Thank you for choosing, the city of Port Huron, and as long as it's not outer space, something that's really weird, so I don't know.
I think
So-
it's had approval, so.
Oh, it had approval. Okay, so I'm waiting to see what that looks like,
Great.
that new wave, new features, so.
A little more
So,
contemporary, which I think is good.
contemporary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, we're looking forward to it, so thank you very much for coming tonight.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the council on public hearing number 2? I'll declare public hearing number 2 closed and ask for a motion to approve the amended Brownfield plan.
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Ruiz. Is there any further discussion? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Archibald.
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford.
Yes?
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Lewandowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz.
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. We will move on now to public comment time. If there's anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council on any item, they can come forward, give your name, and you have 4 minutes. Seeing no one, I will declare public comment period closed, and we will move on to from the city manager. The first one, please.
Is accepting the bid from various vendors for the purchase of security system equipment for the Municipal Office Center totaling $11,985.56.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Harris, is there discussion?
Mayor Rapp,
Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Archibald.
could we ask for some details on this equipment, its purpose, past use, future use?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager Freed. This equipment that we're asking for will replace equipment that has been broken or not in use, is out of date in the MLC for the last 5 to 7 years. Candidly, we've, just prior to Mr. Freed taking over, yes, God. Twice.
Better say hallelujah. Yes.
He's telling you to prove this. We undertook a review of the security needs in the MOC, and we're going building by building throughout the city to make sure that we're providing a safe environment, not only for the people that work in the MOC, but the people that visit the MOC. And some of the issues that we found is that we've had a security system that hasn't been updated or been upkept in a number of years. And with budget cuts and restraints and that, we've taken funds and monies that we would use to repair a camera or fix a hard drive, and we put those monies in elsewhere. And what we had is that we cannot, we don't have a complete security system that works and operates in an efficient and effective manner. And as an example, I know people walk in the building, you may see cameras operating, but we couldn't tell if somebody comes in and claims that they slipped on the front steps of City Hall. Well, it's because you see a camera, you assume something's recording there. That may not have been necessarily so. Or we've had a number of occasions where people have entered the inner working areas of different departments or tried to sleep overnight in bathrooms or got off elevators at different times of the day or night. We've had no way to visualize that or check on that type of thing. So we're trying to tighten up the security a little bit in the MOC for the public's sake and also for the employees that work here. All this does is replace equipment that's inoperative now, that's broken. One thing I do want to reflect in these prices here, we have an in-house expert in Rob Waters that handles a lot of our needs from the DPW. We originally put this out to a local security company to come in and take a look at our needs and give us some ideas. Give us some ideas of what we have and what we can do. And candidly, when we got the price back, it was staggering. So then we took another look at this and said, well, how can we make this a little bit more cost efficient and achieve what we need at a minimum to have what we had 4 or 5 years ago, get at least back to that level. And Rob went through the system and with his labor and that, and with these prices here, buying from a warehouse type a setting, this is the amount that we needed in order to fix the cameras, the outdoor cameras, the internal cameras, a couple of the recorder systems and that type of deal to bring the system up to at least par. So that's where we're at.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Thank you. It's quiet now. There's no other discussion, we will take the vote.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewandowski?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Number 2.
Is accepting the bid from Scotty's Potties for a 5-year period to provide portable restrooms on a unit price basis in various city parks.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Thank you, Councilmember Ashford. Is there a second?
Support.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald. Is there discussion?
This is just basic what you do. It's just time for this to happen.
Yep.
Right, okay.
Anything else?
We've used Scotty Potties in the past. They've had the previous contract, and they've done an excellent job for us and worked with our staff well.
Thank you. We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Harris?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewandowski?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes, we'll move on to resolutions. Number 1.
Number 1 is approving the agreement with Lario Ross Sterling Entertainment Incorporated to provide event production services during the 2015 Port Huron Rockin' the Rivers music event.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, is there a second?
Support.
Councilmember Ruiz, is there discussion?
Yeah, could we have some elaboration on this, or? I know
Councilmember
it's just
Ashford?
equipment, right?
Yeah, we have.
Who, oh, here they are.
Here we have.
Good evening, Mayor Rep, City Council members, and Mr. Freed. This contract is for stage, sound, and lighting production for the entire Rockin' the Rivers 4-week series.
Oh, okay.
Do you have your lineup yet?
We do not. I can confirm that 50 Amp Fuse will be back. They are coming the 3rd week of the event, but we're still negotiating with some bands. It's a little early yet, but we're working to get that put together quickly.
And these funds are paid back with fundraising, isn't it? I mean,
Yes, it's
yeah.
totally through sponsorships and the generous support of our community that pays for this particular event.
Okay, and that's important to know, Tony. And also, how does this compare to last year's?
It's the exact same pricing as last year. We've used this company now for 4 years. Last year, they flew the sound system to get a better quality out there, so that includes that also. And it's the same as last year.
And how's the attendance and all that, the participation?
Wonderful.
Wonderful?
It's a very well-attended event. We have between 4,000 and 5,000 people that come from all over, not just Port Huron, but they start calling and asking about, what are you having, so I can start my weekend in Port Huron on Thursdays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
It's really nice, as she said, it brings in 4,000 to 5,000 people, but they stop, have dinner, and go out for drinks afterwards, so there's a nice spin-off economic development effect of this.
Right, it's a great community event.
I'd
Great.
just like a quick opportunity to thank Tony. She's run the program for us for the rec department. It's definitely a team effort with our staff, but that's why I wanted her here today, because she does a real nice job with that program, so I'd like to accept
Thank
her.
you.
It's very good.
I can see from my window in the heat of July and August, you setting up with your team for those events, and it is an extraordinary effort to pull that off, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. If there's no other discussion, we'll take the vote.
Councilmember Lewandowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz.
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald.
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford.
Yes,
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes, we'll move on to Resolution 2.
Is adopting a revised schedule of fees effective March 1st, 2015 for various sections of the Code of Ordinances and other user-specific fees.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, is there a second?
Support?
Councilmember Ruiz, is there discussion?
Just one minor discussion.
Yes, Councilmember Harris.
I looked at some of the fee schedule changes, and I guess my problem with some of the fee schedule changes, we have new, which seem kind of large to me, building plan review fees. I think the other thing that really strikes me is the elimination of the 4 parking penalty. The parking penalties are going to stay at $5, and they aren't going to increase with additional ones. It used to increase to 20 after the 3rd ticket, the 4th one was 20, but we no longer have that. The other thing I have a problem with is lowering the fees associated with tattoo businesses. We had a limited but good discussion on the tattoo parlors, and now we're going to cut their rates to keep them in business, and I don't know if it's a step forward or step backward.
Maybe we could have somebody address that?
We'll have our chief and planning director come address it. There are reasons behind each of these.
I'm going to talk on tattoos, and everything else is Kim's. The reason that we lowered those fees is to be consistent with the other fees. The fees are set based on the service that we provide, not on whether we like the occupation or the things that are surrounded. And we sat down and talked with Sue, and we do the same investigation that we do for another type of license. So to have charge one fee for this license and one fee for this license, and it'd be the exact same service, we felt that was inappropriate. And we tried to keep the fees at the lowest fee possible in order for us to do the service. There's some cost involved in there, there's some administrative oversight, there's iChat fees and that. So we do just enough to cover the city's cost for us to produce that license. So you'll see that a couple of fees dropped, and that's one of the reasons why that dropped.
While you're still up there, can I just ask you, because I also had concerns about the tickets, and I think that's under you also, isn't it? The one about the eliminating the 4 more parking tickets?
I'll be honest with you, that one slipped by me. I'd have to research that. It may have something to do with, we've started a practice now that we send 3 or more consecutive tickets on a vehicle to the Secretary of State's office, and then the person, before they can renew their license plates or their driver's license, has to settle up with the fines. We find that that's much more effective in getting people to settle up with the tickets than adding the additional fine that they never pay on. So now, after every 3 tickets, we're sending that information to the Secretary of State. That may be part of that issue. We've kind of changed the process we're doing. Otherwise, we've had tickets out there for years and years and years, and nobody's, followed up on them. Now we send them to the Secretary of State, and that, when you can't get your license, you can't get your vehicle plates, that tends to get somebody to respond to the tickets and take care of it.
Should that be in there someplace? Because what it looks like, the way it is worded and was worded, per ticket charge for first, second, and third parking ticket, $5, it makes it sound like, okay, after the third one, I guess you don't have to pay. I mean, it's almost like, you know what I'm saying?
I understand it. That's not the way I took it, but I could see how that could be interpreted that way.
Well, I'm afraid that somebody else, I know that's not true, but, when you eliminate the part 1 that says 4 or more and take it completely out and leave it sort of, it's almost like you should just put per ticket charge $5 and not go for
I'm
a
happy
second
if you
and
want to
third.
amend that to any, I think that works both ways.
Yeah, okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members and City Manager. The question with regards to building plan reviews, is that correct?
Right.
Okay. We've always had in the ordinance and in this proposed schedule of fees, 65% of the building permit on large projects. And what we were finding is the valuation of some of the projects would come in optimistically low, And in talking with staff, we decided that it's really easier if we set up a certain amount across the board based on valuations for commercial and residential to be fair and be consistent with what we're actually doing with the projects, and in hopes then, of course, that we'd have a much easier time of collecting on all of them rather than one or two here or there. So the fees are to our advantage, and they also, I suppose you could say, provide for an atmosphere where the values are stated more correctly.
Any other questions, comments from council? Yes, Councilmember Lewandowski.
Kim, did you say you're having a hard time collecting site plan review fees?
Well, what we're having a difficulty with is that we weren't, the way it was worded before, it said it could be charged up to 65% of a permit fee. It didn't define whether it was for residential, commercial, what type of residential, and obviously, some of those require more input from our inspectors than others. So we wanted to make sure that we were being fair, not only to the developer or the contractor, but to our staff, so.
Mayor Rep,
Yes, Councilmember Ashford.
yeah, can you speak to the meter charges?
No, I'm sorry, I can't. We could
Okay.
We will have
ask
our
a third
utilities
member of the
manager come
team
up.
up.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to find something for you?
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel bad. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council, City Manager. Yes, but the
Meter
specific,
charges,
the two new ones?
yeah, what, the justification behind it,
Because we changed the ordinance language back in October,
right?
that new ordinance language refers to a fee that City Council approves. Before, it was based on time and material, which created paperwork, billing, so this was a more efficient way to deal with those charges. So the fees are still the same, it's just a matter of how we bill the customer now.
Oh, okay.
It's a fee versus a time and material, then they would then receive an invoice.
Okay, but we are, oh, okay, I got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You all know Eric Witter, he's our utilities supervisor.
No, I didn't know
Well,
it.
he's there, could I ask the
Yep.
other side of that question?
Sure thing.
I also had that down here under meter repair and missing or damaged meters. Is that because the customer damaged it?
That's correct.
Okay.
This is a way for us to recoup our costs for the meter that would be missing or damaged.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
How many, we have 2 full-time meter people in-house?
We do, 2 meter technicians, full-time.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions about the fees?
Just real quick, if I could mention our 2 meter technicians. I've met those gentlemen. Actually, you and I both did out in the field one day. They're very good at customer service. They enter people's home, work with the customer. They're our direct contact with our customer. And so those 2 gentlemen have been doing a wonderful job, and the mayor and I had an opportunity to actually visit one a couple weeks ago and thank them for their, was it 20 years of service or 25 years of
20.
service?
20. Yes, Councilmember Lewandowski.
How many meters do we still have in people's houses that we have to send out people to read? Because I thought we did all the wireless stuff.
I would have to check. There are some people who haven't made the changeover. Do you have that? 70? Yeah, 70. And they're getting charged a penalty for not changing over, correct? A read fee?
Right, they are.
Why, excuse me, Mayor Rep, why are they still delinquent? You just can't get in the house to change the meter out? Oh, okay.
Some, both, and
Okay.
some refuse too as well. So it's a both, some refuse and can't get access.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions, discussion? We will take the vote. Is anybody interested, by the way, in changing that on the parking tickets, or, because I don't normally make an amendment to something, but
I will make that amendment.
to just have it per ticket charge?
Charge.
Do you want that just part of your original motion?
Sure.
And then it was,
Seconded by Councilmember Ruiz. Does he
Do
concur
you
with that?
concur with that friendly amendment?
Yep, we'll be
Okay.
fine. Okay, then we will take the vote.
Councilmember Ruiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald,
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford,
Yes.
Councilmember Cole. Oh, didn't extend out my A's far enough. Councilmember Harris,
No,
Councilmember Lewandowski,
Yes.
Mayor Rupp.
Yes, that concludes our agenda for this evening. Is there anything else from council before we adjourn?
Just one
Yes,
comment.
Councilmember Harris.
A great new event up to Palmer Park over the weekend. It was like a football game. There was tailgaters, lots of hockey teams, and some out-of-towners, in-towners, and I thought the boys had fun, and the people that managed to find a place to park within a 3 or 4 block area, it was just great.
Referring to the pond hockey?
Any kind of hockey.
Yeah, yeah.
Certainly cold enough to play it outside.
With that real quick, we had a lot of volunteers who helped put that together, so the cost of the city was minimal. And so that really was a volunteer-driven, which is nice because I drove by as well, there's a ton of people out there.
Great.
A little too cold for me to stop.
Councilmember Ashford.
Who does our billboards? What company is that that's responsible for the billboards throughout the city?
Lamar?
Lamar? Oh, okay. I just want to comment. I happened to get caught by a light, and of course, you may know, you may not know it's Black History Month, but it's Black History every day to me. But anyway, it's Black History Month, and I saw this, the face come, with the Black History notations and everything, and I just want to commend them, because it was nice. I guess they do it for every ethnic group, but I just happened to see it because I said, oh, Black History Month, that's a nice touch for Port Huron. Yeah,
Service, yeah. It's nice.
speaks to who we are, trying to touch base. So I just think that is really a nice thing to do.
Thank you for bringing it up. Anybody else? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Meeting adjourned.